Today's November 1st, 2023, and my name is Norman McCarter. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. Now, let me change that. I'm feeling great this morning. I've been entrusted to fill in for a man whose name really needs no introduction. He's a Buffalo icon and definitely one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. He's the writer of this show, including many others. He's a husband, he's a father, and a Christian devoted to the cause of Christ and the resurrection and restoration of Africa as a community of people. I speak of the teacher, the historian, the man of God, a man that's a mentor to many, including myself. Buffalo's own L. Nathan Hare.
L. Nathan Hare, y'all.
All right. I also would like to introduce someone that if we didn't have him here this morning, this show goes nowhere.
Well, you could have a radio show, Noah.
Willie, if we didn't have you here this morning, the show goes nowhere. I've been given this opportunity to work with this man that I truly respect and consider a true friend. He's without a doubt an IT genius. He's a great DJ and one of Buffalo's best. He hails from New York City, and he's worked for Time Warner, Adelphia, and Spectrum for over 30 years.
Wow, I'm going to have to pay you after this.
Doing color, and covering Buffalo Bills and UB games. And so many other sporting events.
Wow.
He's a cable and wire master, and he's an editing genius.
Wow.
Who's a producer and true man of God.
Let's kick Nathan Hare out. I want to know him. I like the introduction alone.
I consider him, once again, my friend and colleague, Mr. Willie H.
Well, thank you. Norman McCarter is his name, y'all.
Oh, right. All right. That's my man, Will. All right. I'm coming in for Mr. Hare, and I'm welcoming you to our new broadcast. Now, this is Mr. Hare's word, so I just want you guys to know. It's focused on providing insight into events shaping our national and regional world and examining the facts behind those events and policies that are shaping our world for today and tomorrow. Join us weekly, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 o'clock to 10 a.m., following Amy Goodman's Democracy Now! Program. And our program is live, so you can call in and join our discussions. We hope that you will. Our phone number is area code 716-878-5104. That's 716-878-5104. Mr. Hare's first topic today, and he labels this, it's a good deal already. I'm going to read this, and hopefully we get some callers in. A deal already exists to avert a U.S. government shutdown. It's the debt ceiling compromise that was agreed in May by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden. The deal was a true middle ground. Mr. Biden and Democrats agreed to spending cuts on domestic programs in 2024 and 2025. They also agreed to a reduction in IRS funding, and in exchange for House Republicans raising the debt limit and forging deeper cuts, both sides gave a little. The agreement preserves the basic principle that any increase in the debt ceiling was to pay for expenses already incurred by the current or previous Congresses. The agreement should have made approval of an omnibus budget resolution covering all 12 departments of government much easier. Essentially, the agreement said that if Congress could not agree on spending levels for all 12 departments of the federal government, the budget would default. To and across the board, spending cuts of 1%. This provision responded to the Matt Gaetz MAGA wing of the Republican Party's insistence that a budget for each department of the federal government be voted on individually. The risk of Gaetz' proposal is that the clock would run out on September 30th and different departments of government would be pitted against each other. The Biden-McCarthy agreement meant that instead of September 30th being the drop-dead date, failure to close on a budget for each of the 12 departments of government will be the drop-dead trigger of the 1% across-the-board budget increase. As a new budget year approaches in October, all lawmakers have to do is follow the spending levels they agreed to over the summer. Yet far-right lawmakers are demanding a renegotiation, insisting on substantial cuts to everything but defense and veterans aid, the things they did not get earlier this year, and threatening a government shutdown if they do not get their way.
Wow.
Mr. McCarthy, or the new Speaker of the House, Michael Johnson, don't have to bow to these lawmakers' demands. They can stick to the previous agreement, passing a budget with some votes from the House Democrats and avoid an October 1st shutdown. It appears, however, that new Speaker Johnson wants to stand with the far right of his caucus, proposing a budget that would slash funding for everything other than defense or veterans by 8%.
Wow. All right, pause for a second if you can.
Yes, sir.
So what you're telling me, Democrats, Republican came up with a plan and said, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And
they worked together.
And they came up with a plan so that they get everything in time. But somebody else joined. I think he will be replacing Johnson, right? Johnson will be replacing McCarthy, right?
McCarthy is Speaker of the House, yeah.
Speaker of the House. And so this new jack comes in and says, nah, we going to do it our way. Fuck what you guys said before. We're going to strong arm, and we want this. We want, I think what they want, more money for veterans and military. Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. They want to increase the military. They want to continue spending for the military, and they want to continue to pay the veterans.
Veterans, right? So Republicans, the far right anyway, say, listen, Johnson's in. Johnson said, no, we're going to do it what we want to do. So we want more money for the military, veterans. Forget all that other crap that they got spending money for, and if we don't get it, or we don't, because we're not going to negotiate, if it takes time, then that means everything closed, government shuts down, and we don't really care about getting money to those other places anyway. So we're going to strong arm. So that's basically what's happening, right?
Yes, sir. Well, you know that they already had a preset idea. They put us on hold, for a short period, and it looks like they're cooperating, but they're just putting it off for a period of time.
Right.
They want their agenda to go through.
Right. That has to happen in probably like 2 or 3 weeks, right?
I think
before the shutdown.
Yeah. I think it's if I can look into my notes, I think it's around the 30th of November.
All right. So that we got a little over 3 weeks then.
Yeah.
Because we're the first. So, so basically they got to get this stuff, and I don't think they've been negotiating. They haven't been really talking, right? They haven't come up with anything, have they?
Well, like I say, we've got a new guy in for McCarthy,
Right.
as Speaker of the House.
Johnson, yeah.
But let me just say, this means that cuts to education,
Wow.
transportation,
Wow.
national parks, public health, and even law enforcement, among other popular and widely used programs. The Freedom Caucus tries to portray its latest maneuvering as an attempt to restore fiscal prudence. It's not. Tackling the nation's debt burden requires putting everything on the table, including tax hikes, budget cuts, and reforms to Social Security and Medicare.
Wow.
So far, the House Republicans refuse to do that.
Wow.
They might calculate that forcing a shutdown would show their constituents that they are fighting the Democrats, but do little ultimate harm to the country. And this is wrong. A shutdown would shake confidence in the U.S. leadership. And as what he's saying is, they don't want there to be confidence in President Biden already. Already at this point.
I think you hit the spot right there.
Yeah.
They want the government shut down so that Biden looks bad, and now it makes Trump more imminent.
Yes,
it makes the Republicans put a little footage in the House, and they already beating Biden up, with allegations
all
like
kinds
he's
of
the
crazy
bad guy,
stuff.
he's the devil, he's the whatever.
Yeah. So this is really crazy,
Wow.
But it would do ultimate harm to the country. This is wrong, and the shutdown would shake confidence in the U.S. leadership at home and abroad at a critical time.
Yeah.
The public needs to see this legislative impasse for what it really is. The House Freedom Caucus is demanding a restructuring of a fair bipartisan compromise, and the Speaker is accommodating them, as he would. That's why they got him there.
Right. You talking about Johnson?
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Johnson.
He's going to accommodate for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Revenue statistics of 2022, United States retrieved revenue statistics. And Willie, I'm going to let you take over there. We'll bypass these stats. We don't need to get into all of that.
Let me get it. Let me get in to my notes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm switching away.
No, I know that you're doing a lot. So I tell you what, you want me to just?
Yeah. You just reading. I'll just
keep
comment
going.
off. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So we're on to the House is back open for business, but getting legislation through it, much less agreeing with the Democratic Senate and President Biden, won't be easy for brand new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. With major deadlines less than a month away, after 22 days of GOP infighting, the Louisiana Republicans secured his post Wednesday without any opposition.
Wow.
From his fellow House Republicans. That unity will be tested soon, though, with lawmakers facing a slew of policy and political challenges, including a government funding deadline in 3 weeks. The shutdown will be looming again.
Right.
So, aid requests for Israel and Ukraine, and the farm bill that has already expired. It will mark the first time that Johnson, who until recently was the vice chair of the House Republican Conference, will be the top negotiator with Democrats on behalf of a group of Republicans still divided over both ideology and political tactics. In terms of being able to effectively legislate in divided government, that part of this job is going to make getting elected Speaker look kind of easy, said Rep. Steve Womack. He's a Republican from Arkansas, a longtime member of the House Appropriations Committee, which writes these spending bills. They got 12 different appropriations, and with these appropriations, these are the things that they, it looks like we want to spend our money on.
Right.
So Johnson met with President Biden in the Situation Room at the White House on Thursday,
Right.
according to a person with knowledge of the matter, and attended a briefing with administration officials and other top lawmakers about President's foreign aid and border requests. The meeting at the White House included congressional leadership of both parties and key committee chairs and ranking members later. Johnson also met with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The most immediate deadline facing Johnson is the expiration of the government's current funding on November 17th. In a letter sent to House Republicans earlier this week, Johnson mapped out a timeline for immediately bringing the GOP crafted spending bills they haven't yet passed to the House up for votes. I guess they're going to craft a whole new thing of votes.
Right. So like I said, so basically, Johnson met with Biden and basically said, "Listen, what you guys talked about, we ain't going for that. We want new votes. So
Right.
the process has to be done all over again after they done agreed, which means basically what Johnson is saying. If you don't give me what I want, we stop in government. And if we stop government, you gonna look bad."
That's exactly right, sir.
Wow.
You know, that's crazy. But because the House will need to reach an agreement with the Senate and White House, widely seen as infeasible for all 12 bills, which we've got to do in less than a month, within the next 3 weeks, Johnson said House Republicans may need to buy themselves more time by passing a stopgap spending measure that will continue current funding levels either into mid-January or mid-April.
Hey, Norm, do they tell you what spending that they want to spend money on? Does it?
Well, that's what they're letting you know with these certain appropriations, different things they're going to give most of the appropriation unless they suit the GOP. That's what they're going. They're going for that. But a lot of these things are the things that the little people need, like
Right.
school,
Right.
watching the children,
Right.
infrastructure,
Right.
different things like that. And the GOP kind of blows that kind of stuff.
So
off.
basically, what they're saying is Johnson and the far right Republicans are saying, later for what you want. We don't care what the people want. We're gonna get what the government want, what we actually want, and we don't care about that because we got money, we got resources. We're gonna be able to do our thing regardless. Our people, our folks, our constituents, we're gonna be able to do what we want, and later for all of y'all. And that's basically what I'm hearing from what you're reading.
Yeah, well, it's about when it really boils down to it, Brother Will. It's about big money, and they want what they want, and they're out to get it, and it's by all means necessary.
Right. I think Trump brung that spirit.
Yeah.
Especially with the Republicans, like we're gonna do what we want to do later for all of y'all.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, in continuance, let's see. The goal would be to eliminate the year-end pressure that often compels Congress to pass a massive spending package in a rush before Christmas. We all understand that our next speaker must be prepared to negotiate from a position of strength with the Democrat-controlled Senate and White House.
Well, he's doing it.
Johnson wrote in the letter, Speaker Mike Johnson, House is moving forward very aggressively on Biden family investigation.
Aggressively.
Yeah. I mean, they've already investigated Hunter Biden.
Right.
They've done this to death.
Right.
They found no wrongdoing, but it's something to just continue on and kind of keep us off of Trump. It keeps our mindset somewhere else.
Right.
And you know.
They basically pointing fingers. They basically saying, "Hey, look at Biden. Look at what he's doing." You know, and they know in their mind we really don't have nothing on it. But you guys need to look at him because something went on there. And look at him. Meanwhile, while they got pointing over there, they got their fingers in somebody else's pockets, taking something else from basically from the people. Look over there, guys. That's the trouble. But they're so it's so crooked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So crooked.
All right. Such stopgap measures have been fiercely opposed by the hard-ranked flank of the House GOP conference, fueling some of the anger toward former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy. Going right back then, who was ousted earlier this month after passing the most recent short-term spending patch to avert a government shutdown.
Yeah, see, and that's what they did. They didn't want that. They didn't want that, and that's why they got Johnson. They said, let's get a man in who got balls, who's gonna basically do that. Kevin, he's kind of like Biden, want to work with folks, and
he was a paper tiger anyway. Yeah. You know that.
Right.
But many lawmakers believe that Johnson will have a little more leeway next month.
Hello.
With conservatives who celebrated his ascension to power this week. Representative Chip Roy, he's a Republican from Texas, said he would be open to a short-term spending patch in service of a longer-term goal of reducing federal spending. It just depends on how it's structured, framed, and whether it's tactical. He told reporters, while some lawmakers held out hope they would be able to pass and negotiate individual spending bills before the mid-November deadline, others acknowledge that was...
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, you got a caller?
I got a caller, yeah, I got a caller.
All right. Hey, caller, how you doing there?
Oh, hold on. Yeah. You got us here?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, cool. Good.
Hey, caller, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. And hey, I'm listening to what you guys are discussing, as far as the possible government shutdown and how they're flexing for this money and everything.
Flexing for the money.
Yeah. And what's ironic is what the biggest difference now, of course, is the wars and how we're going to distribute funds to both wars.
Right.
Because that wasn't in place. I think Ukraine was already going on, but of course, this thing in Israel wasn't going on yet.
Palestine.
So they're going to use that as the biggest thing I think, to change some things. They're going to use it as a bargaining chip. Hey, Biden, you want to give this money to Israel? We're going to need this.
Right.
I heard them on the news yesterday saying something about tying both things together in some way. Like, well, Ukraine doesn't get money if Israel doesn't get this. So this is ugly. This is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to be long.
Yeah.
I don't think the government is shut down, but the Republicans are going to get a lot of concessions because of these wars that they probably wouldn't have gotten previously.
Right, and that's why they strong arming now. They got Johnson in, and Johnson is basically saying, "Listen, you guys know the deal. We want more money for military,
That's right.
for veterans.
That's right.
So give us what we want. Otherwise, government is shut down, and Biden, you look bad."
Yeah.
But then there's always those intangible things that we don't know about that are attached to certain bills.
Right, that's correct.
That and it's going to be things that money going to places that, until it's done, we'll never know, and there's nothing we can do about it, of course, unless you start voting people out. But, this is...
It gives them control over the money, like you just said. They're flexing for the money, and that's what it's about, money and power. It's always about that.
Yeah, money and power, and just unfortunate. And I just wanted to say, what's going on with the wars is definitely going to have an impact on these negotiations.
Yeah.
That's right, Carl. I like to say this is a pretty good. This is my cousin Terry, and he's well versed with this stuff. And Terry, I just like to say that all of these different appropriations and everything that we have going on, that it's going to take a back seat. When it really boils down, health care, Social Security, infrastructure, climate change, and our economy, all of this stuff is going to take a back seat. And like you say, the GOP is going to get what it wants due to the importance of what's going on. These wars right now are the most important thing we have going. And we're going to address the war over in Gaza a little bit later after the break. I know it's coming up on time, but caller, I just like to say hang around or call back because we'll be addressing that in a little bit.
Sure will, and thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it, Tay. I really do, and I look forward to hearing a little bit more from you.
Sure thing. You guys take it easy.
Hey, thank you, Terry, for calling in. All right, we are living for the people with L. Nathan here. We just had Terry on the line. You guys can call in 716-878-5104. You want me to do that break now, Norm?
Well, you know what I mean. When you do it when it's that time,
let's do it now, and that way we come out. This is a good way to come in with the break.
All righty. I was a little premature, but thank you so much, Brother Will.
So serious.
And if you're not here today, you should have been.
It's the mafia.
Who next?
It's the mafia.
We next.
It's the mafia.
Yeah. Who next?
It's the mafia.
We next.
It's us against them. It's us against the world. It's us against them. Buffalo against the world. It's us against them. It's us against the world. It's us against them. It's Buffalo against the world.
Pulling up in this big body like Bruce Stowe. You even rich like Reed and Diggs, we move so well. You should know the drill. You should know the vibes. If it ain't red, white, and blue, baby, that's not my size. It's the mafia, the fan base that'll die for you. On Sundays, we are not cool. Any other days, we'll ride with you. We haven't sinned, we're Hamlin win. 3 spoke to God and said thanks, though. Having cool years real dope, but I really miss the fan base, though.
Now turn it up, turn it up, wave. 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 It's the mafia.
Who next?
It's the mafia.
We next.
It's the mafia.
Yeah. Who next?
It's the mafia.
We next.
It's us against them. It's us against the world. It's us against them. Buffalo against the world. It's us against them. It's us against the world. It's us against them. It's Buffalo against the world. It's the
Who next?
It's the
Who next?
It's the
Ready for radio that's challenging, innovative, and encouraging? Tune in, Living for the People.
This is L. Nathan Hare. Join me right here, 91.3 FM WBNY. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. after Amy Goodman's Democracy Now! We'll provide objective analysis regarding current issues. Call 878-5104. It's Living for the People on 91.3 FM WBNY.
All right. We're back and in living color. I'm going to go real quick. I'm just going to finish Mr. Hare's comment end it with a little humor. We were pretty much around at the end, and he finishes with, if you think somehow we're going to be able to wrap everything up in 3 weeks-ish, yeehaw, and God bless you.
Yeehaw! Cowboy.
This was said by Representative Marco Modi. He's a Republican out of Nevada. If you really want to act like the majority over here, part of that is calendar realities. Democrats said that so far. The individual spending bills passed. So that's the way he wound that up. And I like I say, I'm in agreement that this is going to be rough, but I do think we'll get the bills passed. I don't think that we're going to.
What makes you think we're going to get the bills passed? What makes you think that?
I think number one, just because we're at war, and I mean we're not at war, but we're helping people, and we are continuing to fund things that are military. That's something that the Republicans really want. If you
so you think the Democrats will give into that and give them the money?
I think they're going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they will. Democrats will give them the money, and so the government won't have to be shut down. Okay, I got you.
That's kind of the way I'm looking at it, Will. But
yeah.
I wanna just say, and if I'm kind of going through my notes real quick. I want to find this paperwork because it's kind of important, but it is, it shows the way that the spending has went, and I've done this before. Maybe I'll get back to that. I won't worry about that. We'll move on real quick. Let me find this, the latest thing that I wanted to go to. Let's see here. I want to get back to
just to let you guys know also, for Living for the Color, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Normally we have Mr. L. Nathan here, but we got my man, Norman McCarter, in the house, a good brother, great communicator, very good with people. When I say that, meaning that I could tell he's a lover of people, and he's able to communicate with people very well.
My man.
He's never forgotten. You know, if you meet Norm, you kind of going to know him for life. So he's that type of dude. So.
This comes from my brother right here. Yeah. So you know. Yeah. But let me get to this here. This is something that. This is something that came up last night, and I'm going to read this. It says, Israeli ground forces pushed deeper into Gaza Monday, advancing in tanks and other armored vehicles on the territory's main city and freeing a soldier held captive by Hamas militants. The Israeli Prime Minister rejected calls for a ceasefire as airstrikes landed near hospitals where thousands of Palestinians are sheltering beside the wounded. The military said Tuesday it killed one of the leaders of the October 7th Hamas massacre in Israel. Nassim Abu Ajina added that his death significantly harms Hamas efforts to fight off Israeli ground forces. The military said a soldier captured during Hamas' brutal October 7th incursion was rescued in Gaza. The first rescue since the week-long war began. Military officials provided few details, but said in a statement that Private Ori Megadish, 19 years old, was doing well and had met with her family. Now, I brought this up just to, like you say, there's a war going on between the Israelis and the Pakistanis, and the Hamas. Hamas is an organization. I'm sorry, it's not Pakistani Palestinians. It's not a part of Palestine. But it's just a tough situation right now. Both of them feel that they have a right to this land. We've been going through a bunch. You know what I mean? They had the Balfour Resolution, which it offered Palestine some things, and they turned it down. And
was the treaty?
Yeah, the Treaty of Balfour, and it brought, it brought on more high. I think we should lean back a little bit more towards the Treaty of Balfour, but right now there's just so much going on now. And let me just say this too, Will, real quick.
Okay.
There's a lot of collateral damage going on there.
That's what I was going to mention.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Will.
Collateral damage. Because you got Israel and you got Palestine, and I think it seems like America and especially Republicans. I think American on a whole, a large percent of them go for Israel, and there was a treaty, but that treaty hasn't really been honored, and now you got a group was formed, Hamas for Palestine. Is that how you pronounce it? Hamas?
Well, they're in Palestine.
They're in Palestine. This group, and they must be a big group. And basically, what they're doing, they're saying later for the treaties and everything, we want our land back. That's where we used to live. That's where our forefathers lived, and we want. So later for now, that group Hamas doesn't have nothing to do with the Palestine. With the people, the Palestine people. So what happens? Whatever Hamas do, then the Israel retaliate, and the collateral damage, probably 90% of it, is the suffering of the Palestine people who have nothing to do with the group. Now there might be people that agree or disagree, whatever, but still, they have no indirect connection with that group.
Directly,
direct. But they get penalized for what that group does because that group is Palestinians.
Yeah, they're suffering because of the Hamas.
Yeah.
But as you say, Hamas is a grouping over there. It's not part of Palestine, but they're in Palestine, and who knows? You can't really tell who's who, and it's just a tough situation. It's a lot of people being killed that have nothing to do with nothing.
Innocent people being killed. Yeah,
really, really terrible situation. Yeah. So and on top of that, us, we're lending aid to Israel.
Right.
Israel is an ally.
Right.
And it's this is kind of a it's a pretty tough situation, and I'm just of the opinion, and this is my own personal opinion, that I think that Hamas should yield a little bit, and the reason I say that is because of the people that are getting killed, the amount of people that are getting killed. Yield and take some help from from the U.S. Make yourself whole in some way. Get monies out of the deal. Get a place that's yours. Split it. Going back to the Balfour Treaty.
Right.
Split the land.
So what you're saying, they should be more political instead of
offensive with weaponry and
Right.
fighting.
Right.
This is the way I look at it. But who would though? That's just like say somebody came and lived in Buffalo before us and came and wanted it back and you know they said it was theirs and how what will we do? Will we give it up?
Right.
Or will we fight for what's ours?
Right. That's how they feel. You're right, Norm. You hit it right on the spot. That's how those people, Hamas, feel. They feel like, no, we're fighting this. That was ours. They took it from us.
Right.
Our people, our forefathers lived here. Who, and then the Israel. We know the Israel plight.
Yeah.
And we know that
they naturally think it was theirs anyway because they say this is.
I think biblical too. You kind of read that. They kind of like say that land was for Israel. So you got a lot of that going on, as well as so many different directions that this could go, and it's hard because the main thing we know is that innocent people are dying. Children, men, and women are dying. Innocent people.
Man, yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah,
that's definitely right. And something has to be done.
Right.
We've got a lot going on. I hope some people call in this morning, but I basically am at a point right now in the show when I am looking at just different things that are going on, and let me just read you a few.
Okay.
One of the ones that I really would like to read is. This is Chris Christie.
Wow, Chris Christie, New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey guy, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey mayor.
He was a friend of Trump, but, they went through their personal thing. And here's the headline. It is over for Trump, Chris Christie declares, as he reveals what is going to happen to him. I'd like to read this, if you guys don't mind. Former New Jersey governor Chris Christie didn't mince words when discussing the legal troubles facing former President Donald Trump. According to MSNBC on October 31st, 2023, Christie said the situation has taken a dire turn and is on the verge of conviction.
Right.
Christie, a longtime ally of Trump and former 2016 presidential candidate himself, has maintained a significant presence in the political landscape. His perspective on Trump's legal matters carries weight within the Republican Party, and his candid assessment is sending shockwaves through political circles. This right here, guys, is something that I am viewing, and I spoke to Mr. Hare about this. And I spoke to him about this maybe a couple of weeks ago as I was reading and doing, just different little research and everything. I said to Mr. Hare, it seems as if the landscape is kind of changing for Mr. Trump. And some of these allegations and different things are coming back to kind of bite him a little bit. A lot of his allies seem to be turning on him, and even within the party. So I'm looking at, and I'm hoping, I really am, because I'm definitely a proponent against Trump. I'll just be honest with that.
Well, we got a caller, Norm.
Okay, go right ahead. Caller, how you doing?
Yeah, Norm, I'm great, Norm, and really, you guys you're holding it down for Mr. Hare, but you were talking about the war a couple of minutes ago.
Yes, sir.
That's something that I've really, as a veteran myself, and I did 22 years in the military. I've seen the war, and I know that you can't believe everything you see or hear. I was watching some of the footage on the internet from my wife. My wife said, "Why would they have to show some of this stuff?" And I told her that, when I told her that, I said, you're only going to get two types of information: what you hear, what you're being told, and what they show you.
Right.
And you would hope that information matches up so you can believe it.
Right.
And I said sometimes it's hard to know what the truth is, and look, I'm not I'm worried about innocent people. Innocent people. That's my issue. And when you when you say that you're going to try to spare innocent lives, yet you bomb a refugee camp.
Wow.
Or you bomb a hospital.
Yeah.
Which was being used. It's kind of difficult to accept that you stated you're trying to spare innocent lives.
Right. It's suspicious. It's suspicious.
Yeah. It's not matching up in that regard. And when you're asked to maybe think about a ceasefire, and your response is, you're getting billions of dollars in the United States, and the United States says, hey, think about a ceasefire.
Right.
And your response is, well, the United States didn't do a ceasefire after Pearl Harbor was hit.
Right.
The United States didn't do a ceasefire after 9/11, so Israel would not accept the ceasefire at this time. So that's difficult to accept. And I just want to put it in perspective for the callers. When you look at Gaza, the Gaza Strip, it's easy to watch this on television and say two countries are at war, but that's not true. As Mr. Harris already discussed, Palestine isn't really a country. It's a territory. And if we look at Gaza, it's only 140 square miles. And when you put that in perspective, that's Buffalo, Amherst, and Cheektowaga.
Wow.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Amherst, and Cheektowaga pretty much add up to about 140 square miles. So that's what they're bombing. And if you look at Buffalo, Amherst, and Cheektowaga, there's approximately 500,000 people in those three cities.
Right.
Gaza has 2.2 million.
Wow.
That's over 4-to-1
ratio.
The amount of people in that same area. So when you're dropping bombs, you're going to kill people.
Right.
And the refugee camp was to the north. You sent people to the south. You told them to go to the south, they'll be safe, but they're not safe because Egypt has the crossing closed.
Right.
So, I
T-
just wanted to comment on that.
Terry, I would like to, number one, thank you, because Terry, he sent me this information earlier, and to be honest with you, kind of got away from me. Netanyahu, who is the prime minister over there, in Israel, they're looking at kind of sitting him down, and to be honest with you, rightfully so. When it comes down to innocent lives just being taken, we've had situations where you had to go to the the war tribunal and war crimes. This is not something that it's not about killing innocent people.
Well,
the Gaza Strip is. I'm sorry, Will, go ahead.
No, it's starting to sound like Russia with Ukraine. Like Russia, we want some of that territory. We want more control. So that's what it's sounding like. Israel is sounding like Russia.
Yeah. And this is really sad because now if you're watching it, Lebanon's getting involved, Syria's getting involved.
Wow.
See, this is where it gets scary.
Yeah.
There's little bombs, there's little skirmishes because, these guys are crossing the borders in the desert and they're hiding here, hiding there. Same thing. Now, we did this already with the Taliban, years ago, and these different, and ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't governments. These are just factions.
Right.
That we're fighting. And same thing here with Hamas and what's the ones in the West Bank, Hezbollah. These aren't governments.
Yeah.
This is scary. They are just like I said. I've seen it, and it's never good. And I just pray for those innocent people.
Yeah.
I'm not taking sides. Taking sides. I'm worried about the innocent people.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
We are too.
When you look at it, Terry, once again, and I just to piggyback on you, it's kind of like a powder cake, you know what I mean? And you something starts small,
right.
But once it starts, it can turn into something really, really huge. And this is why, we have to do what we have to do. I was in an Uber the other day with a guy. And the guy was totally against Biden. And I was trying to tell him, all the great things that Biden had done, just some, really good. But he was against him. And he was trying to state that over there was not military. And in that process, I was telling him that this is very military, because if we don't react or do something, you know what I mean? And as I say, Biden reaching out, trying to reach out to Netanyahu, let him know that, hey, we need to have a ceasefire. We need to do something, because if we don't, this powder cake can erupt into something far huger than what we want, you know, where we are now.
Right.
And
I'm going to add something more. I'm sorry.
No.
I got to get into this office. I just wanted to add, Netanyahu will have to listen eventually. Because just check the history. When you don't listen, you're removed. One way or the other.
Well, there's
Hey, who does the removing though? Who does that removing?
You name Muammar Gaddafi. Was it Saddam Hussein?
Hey, you heard what he said.
Okay.
You'll be removed, and
Wow.
that's he spoke in a manner.
Wow. Okay.
Just let you know he's a military man, so
Okay.
keep it in mind.
Hey, I'm just telling you, you can't say give me billions of dollars and then say I'm gonna do what I want with it.
Right.
Man, oh
They're
man.
like, hey, wait, I mean, you're winning. You're fighting a city. You're winning. You're going to win. So you don't have to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So, and I usually don't speak on these things because I know there's always two sides to it and some things we don't know. But I'm watching this stuff, man. I'm seeing too many innocent people killed, and this is bothering me. So,
Man.
But hey, I'd like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. And I got to get inside. But, hey, you guys doing a great job, man. Good luck to you.
Hey, Terry, listen.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, my bro. Man, I really appreciate you calling in as always. It's my big cuz right here. I love him. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it.
Hey, love you too, man. Take care.
All right.
Take care, Terry.
So with that being said, that right there is something that's really, really a tough situation over there in Gaza. You know, the Gaza Strip is, as he say, 140-mile territory being bombed to death. It's really, really crazy.
And mostly innocent people.
Innocent lives, Will.
Yeah,
innocent
wow.
lives. So that right there is something that we have to, we got to speak about.
Yeah.
Let's, while we're, let's see if we can move on to something.
Yeah, you got about 5 more minutes, Norm. So.
About 5 more?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Call in, guys, 716-878-5104. Living for the People every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Come join us. Give us your opinion. Give us, us your insight on this thing. So,
Okay. I'm going to take it to just a few headlines that I saw earlier, since we only have 5 minutes. Maybe we can get a response on these different situations.
Right.
I am going to start as there's been a nomination of Jack Lew as ambassador to Israel. I'll read this real quick. The Senate is voting on President Biden's appointment of Jack Lew as ambassador to Israel. Lew, a former Treasury Secretary, has drawn opposition from Republicans for his role in former President Obama's, and we're going back to 2015, nuclear agreement with Iran. Nonetheless, he secured the support of the GOP, which means in most cases, looks like everything will go great for him. He's got their support.
Okay.
So that's one. Let's see. Judge, now this came as a surprise to me. This is something I read earlier. Judge Chutkan rules on jailing Donald Trump.
Now, what does that mean, Norm?
Okay, I'm going to just say that I'm going to kind of give it a little a quick thing. She had the grounds, I believe, to put him in jail, and she rejected a request from the Department of Justice to place Trump in jail for violating a reinstated gag order. So, I'm just saying, could have put Trump in jail for a period of time, but chose to let Trump continue on. Now, she's had a lot going on with Trump anyway, but I just had to bring that up. Just checking. And also, let me state this other one. This is just one more real quick. Kamala Harris spills the beans and reveals why Biden is not 30 points ahead of Trump. You asked me about this earlier, Will.
Yeah, why?
She actually was basically speaking, and I'm kind of just paraphrasing, but it's just because of the process. The things that you have to go through as far as Republican and Democrat and the way that things are right now. And how you doing, Khaki? Yeah, it's wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you. But yeah, that was pretty much it, Will,
Hey, before we go, I got Khaki in the house, y'all. Say something, Khaki.
Until the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will not know peace.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I think we're going out with that.
Nothing truer spoken.
Yeah, I think we're going out with that. All righty,
right.
y'all. We had Norm. Mr. Hare is on vacation.
Okay.
So Norm took his place. He did a pretty good job.
Did a great job.
So, and we got Khaki in the house. James Braun. This is James Braun, the producer of this show. His sister. We had a great memorial service.
Yeah.
It was awesome, y'all.
Yeah.
We had people out there. Khaki was dressed with her fancy gear. She looked like she was going bowling or something. I don't know.
And that was a Jimi Hendrix quote, by the way.
Yeah.
That I just said, yes.
So I guess we got to cut out, y'all. So let me get that music in.
Okay.
And want to thank Khaki for coming by. I see, Norm, this turned out to be a great show, man.
Turned out to be great.
Let's get that music in, and we out of here, y'all.
For the people.
Yeah, for the people.
For the people.
For the people. Living for the people every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Call in live, 716-878-5104. My man Norm did a spectacular job. Thank you, Khaki, for coming in. Good night, y'all, and check us out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on 91.3 FM. WBNY. God bless. Have a good one, guys. All right.